Hello everyone, this is Hearthstone Meta Hype. I hope you're having a great day. I'm with my friend Venga Dragon. How are you?
I am awesome. I am hyped to be here. Welcome back, Ecor. What's going on, brother?
I'm a little hurt. They did the show without me, I'm not gonna lie. But other than that, I'm doing great. last week.
Well, you know, you gotta keep the hype going. We did it on I did it alone, and I gotta be honest with you, is as much fun as I had on it, I always have much more fun when you are here with me, man, because we just got it going on like that. We're having a good time.
Oh yeah. It was, for those of you who don't know, I was just basically spending time with family on Thanksgiving. I took a week off. If you can't tell, I have a little bit of a scruff going now because I did not shave while I was there. So it's a little bit gross. This is how you signify time has passed. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about the Hearthstone expansion, just in general, because the meta's settled down a little bit. And I haven't played as much as I wanted to because of the fact that I went on Thanksgiving. But I have played like 200 games in total, so I understand the meta and everything that's going on, and I'm excited to talk about it with you.
Yeah, well, the thing is I got a message from Ecor, and he was like, "Look, I haven't really been playing all that much. What are we going to talk about?" So I was like, well, you know, the thing is I'm just wondering, and is that delaying the meta is kind of stale type of attitude that you have?
No. I was busy.
Yeah, you were busy because I was watching a couple of different creators and stuff. I'm not going to mention who they were because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But I heard the words from somebody. The meta's already stale. That's what I heard from somebody. I'm not gonna say who it is, unless you want me to. I won't say it. But
I mean, I low-key agree. I really think there need to be some nerfs. But we'll talk about this when we talk about all of the most popular decks and most powerful decks in just a second. I'll give my opinion on it because I do kind of think, I don't think it's stale yet, but considering how recently the expansion came out, it's more stale than it should be. Like it's not quite stale, but it's like getting to stale faster than most other expansions.
Dude plays 200 games, and he said, and he's already. Oh my! All right.
No, okay. Just quick little thing right now. Think about it. The four most popular decks are Soul Demon Hunter, a form of Control Warrior, Miracle Rogue, and Evolved Shaman. And of those, 3 of those decks already existed in almost the exact same way last expansion. It's just 3 of the top, 5 decks from last expansion, and then Libram Paladin, but you throw Yogg in there. Like, it's the exact same stuff as the top 5 decks, but, with 1 or 2 extra cards added in. Like, Soul Demon Hunter's exactly the same, except you add Bladed Lady. Libram Paladin's exactly the same, except you add Yogg. Control Warrior is actually a little bit different. Control Warrior is kind of cool because you have the ETC OTK. That's cool, but it's still essentially just the same basic combos: Risky Skipper, Rattlegore, Bloodsworn Mercenary, Armorsmith, all those cards. But we'll talk about that.
I had the unfortunate experience of dealing with another deck, and I just might as well just tell the story. I get into a game, and it's Warlock, me playing the Warlock versus what I thought was a Soul Demon Hunter. The entire game goes through the the process and how it's going, but he's kind of beating me down a bit, and Illidan is just whacking me in the face. All of a sudden, I see the lifesteal.
Yeah.
The lifesteal weapon comes out, the normal thing. You're like, okay, everything's fine. We're chill. We're okay. We're going along. So I have to heal. So I get greedy, and I drop down 2 of the artificers, and do the spell that heals up for the Warlock.
Nether Breath?
I heal up. Yeah, Nether Breath. Yeah. So I heal up with Nether Breath up to 30, but I have 2 artificers on the board.
Oh no. I can already see where this is going.
Yeah. All of a sudden I see an artificer come out on their side. And
oh no.
I see the artificer comes out on their side. Next card out is Il'gynoth. Then I see 2 lifesteals that kill I had another minion on board that kills one of they kill one of their own minions on the board or something like that.
Oh boy.
And then a couple of twin slice, and it's a 32 point. I think they did 32 damage on one turn for like
Yep.
5 mana, something like that, or 6 mana. So
Yep.
for the people that said that they don't think that Il'gynoth was gonna see any play and it wasn't gonna, because we were worried about 14 or more damage.
Yeah, we were worried about just 14 damage, you know, just like the weapon with like maybe 2 twin slices or a lapidary or something. You're like, imagine taking 14 damage in one. No, you take 30 plus easy. Easy.
It's like no combo required.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I really think Demon Hunter needs a nerf. That's probably the biggest class I think that needs to see a nerf. I already made a video on this separately. Because Demon Hunter is basically shaping the meta. I've played, out of my 200 games, it's made up about 32% of all of the decks that I've played against, in combination like Soul and Aggro, basically, and a couple of OTKs. And the reason why Warrior is seen the second most is because it's the most reliable counter to Soul Demon Hunter. So when you put both of those together, about 50 to 55% of the meta is just those 2 classes and 2 decks. And I don't know, that's mostly why it feels stale. It's just the same thing. It's just Demon Hunter versus Warrior, just like it was the entire last month of the last expansion. And I don't know. We'll talk about all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd see that, like, if we talk about like the rank distribution, and this is for top 1,000 legend. You got Soul Demon Hunter and any derivative of Demon Hunter at 22.2%. And this was last week, so this is actually the numbers have gotten worse from what I understand. I'm getting the numbers from Vicious Syndicate, and then it was Miracle Rogue, and then Evolved Shaman was coming up, but the one that's really
I'm sorry.
I'm looking at Vicious Syndicate.
Okay, that's the one I used to use, and then I stopped for some reason, but it's definitely really, really good. So let me just load it up. You can keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, this was November 17th to the 24th, so last week really, or at least a little bit, 2 weeks ago really. So we have to update it, but it's 22.2% was this Demon Hunter, and then Rogue came in at 14%. So the Control Warrior has really come up. You really are seeing a lot more play against the Control Warrior, and a lot more people are using the Madness of the Darkmoon Faire card, which is the etc. For the Warrior. So you're seeing
ETC,
that a lot more. ETC, yeah. I call it etc. because like the movie, there's a movie called The King and I, which is a really famous line in it where the guy's like etc. 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 But you know, I just like that, so that's how I do it.
No, yeah, it makes sense. I don't know. I know that the meta's not actually stale. People are using the new cards, but thinking about it, like, this is still, like, low-key the experimental phase, and for it to, like, have some very clear frontrunners already and having it just be Soul Demon Hunter again, I don't know. It's just, it doesn't feel good. Yeah.
Well, there are, like, I noticed that I followed Ecor, of course, on YouTube, and I know you've been doing a lot of things, and also got you on Twitter, and I saw you asking, like, are there any other decks that we can play? Like, you know, like what's out there? And so I agree with you that there is an element of there's still some experimentation left, and the particular decks and archetypes haven't truly been defined. Maybe there's one or two more that might come around, but the thing is even though if you change the Demon Hunter, you still get like pretty much what is with it. Like there's no new archetype in Demon Hunter.
No, yeah,
there's no reason to.
They literally didn't do anything to like change it up. They're like, here's one more damage card for lifesteal. Here's a 6/6 rush for 1 mana because you know Demon Hunters need more value. And also, let's bring aggro Demon Hunter back and come up with like several new really, really good aggressive cards.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Yeah, so like it's almost like with Demon Hunter, like why fix what's not broken, right? Or and people will say, "What are you saying? It's not broken." I'm saying it's not broken. It works so great, right? It's not broken.
No, yeah, it's not broken in the sense of overpowered. You're saying it's the broken is the sense that like it works, so they might as well just keep it the way that it is. Yeah.
Yeah, well, why fix it? Like it's the class is so broken that why change anything, right?
Yeah.
So Demon Hunter really didn't have much of a change. So that kind of takes out one class. So the sort of like the newness factor of Demon Hunter is kind of wearing off. People are like, oh man, here we go again. It's gotten more powerful.
That meme,
right?
Shit. Here we go again.
Here we go again. But I mean, I'm actually really enjoying Hearthstone in the sense of because I like to experiment with different archetypes, but I always do find myself like I know this is not really what deck building is all about, and we've talked about this, but basically I'll just take out the worst card of any good deck from last expansion and just whack Cthulhu in there and see if I can get or whack in something like the Yasharg or something.
That's a better one. Cthulhu is awful, but
yeah, it's an awful card. It is. Especially when you go up against Warlock and Ticketus blows apart half of your cards twice, and it's kind of game over. But
I'm sad I don't see more Ticketus Warlock. It's just outclassed by everything. Like it's a good strong deck. It's just outclassed by the top 4 by so much that like there's no point in playing anything else.
Yeah, I mean I do enjoy Ticketus because I like the certain cards that you could use to cheat out minions, the demons and stuff. So I'm kind of enjoying the way that there has been some positive changes to Warlock, which I like. And one of them is Ticketus. It's just such a cool card, and it's not we talked about it as being a card that we could nerf, and I think you were right. I think the card is fair, believe it or not.
It's a fair card, yeah.
It's just not fair when it comes out the second time for 0 mana, I think, but it is pretty fair. So
yeah, I had no problem with it looking at it. I was like, it's probably going to be fairly difficult to corrupt, and it'll be kind of annoying when you get Yasharge, but you only have one copy of Yasharge, so like getting it for 0 mana a second time isn't going to happen like every game. Or if it does, hopefully it happens late enough to where you already have your combo. I had no problem with it, really. I just thought that it would get outclassed by some of the aggro decks coming out, and kind of did. So I know that this is really late, but I did want to talk about, in my opinion, the top 5 decks real quick. And I think I've already kind of given it away. I'm going to go with the top 6 because there is one deck that isn't part of the top 5, kind of, in my opinion, that I think needs to be talked about. But if we look at Vicious Syndicate and also just my own statistics in terms of play rate and win rate, Soul Demon Hunter and Aggro Demon Hunter are at the very top. They basically define the meta right now. They've played more than any other class by double. Like if they're played 32 to 35% of the time, like I said, Warriors played about 20% of the time, so not quite double. And this is just from what I've seen. Obviously, it might be different because I do play at Legends, so if people are climbing anywhere from Diamond to Bronze or somewhere in that, it's probably more aggro focused. But I've seen a lot more Warriors recently. 15 to 20% are Warriors, so maybe not quite double, but basically Demon Hunter's so far above all of the rest, it's not even funny. And then I think ETC Control Warrior, or any sort of Control Warrior really, but I do think ETC is the best variant, comes in at number 3. Then we got Miracle Rogue. I think Miracle Rogue is actually balanced in the sense that it's a really hard deck to play though. So I don't really mind that deck's super high on the list, because I remember when I played Miracle Rogue, it took me a while to learn how to play it, but then once I did, it only became good once I mastered the deck. And I think that having a deck like that, like a super high skill cap deck, is actually totally fine to have it be really powerful, because it takes so long to learn and there's so many options to misplay. Then number 5 is Evolved Shaman. And just so you know, the 4 classes that I named, at least in my last 100 to 150 games, these 4 or 5 decks, that I just mentioned, make up about 78% of the meta of what I've been playing against. So
Yep.
just throwing that out there. But Evolved Shaman, I think that it's 5 because since it doesn't have any draw, if you do get your board wiped like, 2, maybe 3 times, then they really have no gas left in the tank and they kind of just lose. And then the last one that I think needs to be talked about that I don't think is getting nearly as much credit as it should is Highlander Hunter. I played that deck and it's a beast. Like, arguably, I'd say it's potentially top 3, top 4. It's just not played enough, in my opinion, to have that, like, standing of a top 3 deck yet. So I'm putting it as number 6, but I could see that one being one of the ones that grows. And obviously, there's some other cool decks like Aggro Shaman, Totem Shaman, obviously Lieberman, Pure Paladin. All of these things are viable and, like, one notch below these top-tier decks, but I think these top-tier decks are just, like, so far above most of the other competition that it's just like, what's the point of playing anything else?
Yeah, well, I mean, you bring up some really cool things. I mean, all of the decks, though, that you mentioned, they are somewhat new, right? So we're kind of backtracking on what we said, really. I mean, the meta has changed. It's just in the last, we're only 2 weeks in, so we're still
But Miracle Rogue, Control Warrior, and Soul Demon Hunter are all some of the top 5 or 6 decks from the last expansion. Highlander Hunter is also a deck from the last expansion. Really, the only new one's Aggro Demon Hunter, which kind of existed but was known as like Tempo because it ran Glavebound Adepts and stuff, but essentially the same thing. And Evolved Shaman. Evolved Shaman's new, and I like Evolved Shaman. Evolved Shaman's pretty fun.
Yeah, Evolved Shaman is brutal sometimes. If you, but
dude,
like you said, if you could,
no.
Yeah, I've had some very interesting games against it, but if you can clear out some the early threats, you're pretty good there. One of the decks that I thought would be a lot more that was going to appear on your list was Totem Shaman. How come that's not there?
I think Totem Shaman is close, but I think it just loses to all of the decks I listed. Like, it can beat Miracle Rogue, but Totem Shaman, if it loses control early, it just kind of never gets to snowball. So considering Highlander Hunter, Aggro Demon Hunter, and Soul Demon Hunter are such early game focused decks, once they kill off your early totems, if they use their weapons or their minions to trade into your totems at the beginning, they're just gonna beat you. Like, I've played against Aggro Demon Hunter a lot, and my win rate against Demon Hunter as Totem Shaman specifically is like 35% over about 15 or 20 games or something. And if you look at Hearthstone Replay, it's the same thing. It's a 42% win rate against Soul Demon Hunter, a 30% win rate against Aggro Demon Hunter. And the other decks it does okay against, but considering it has such a bad win rate against by far the most popular class in the game, and it loses to Highlander Hunter as well, which I think is an up-and-coming deck, I just don't really see it going anywhere as long as Demon Hunter remains in the meta. Like, I think that there's so much room for creativity if we didn't have this looming figure of, like, Aggro Demon Hunter. You could die at any time, and games are always going to end in, like, 8 to 10 turns. Like, that looming thing just over you. Like, you can't really play slow decks. You have to play something that competes fast or has some ridiculous combo really early on. And that's just the Demon Hunter.
That's one of the reasons why I like baseball over games that have a clock, like football or soccer or stuff that has a clock. In baseball, you always got innings. It's never over until it's over. So we're gonna get over to the next segment.
Absolutely.
And give you guys a break. I just wanted to, like I always like to do Ecor's job for him. This is what I'm here for. Is I just need you guys to hit that like button, hit that follow. You make sure that you follow Ecor on YouTube. Make sure that you follow him on Twitter. You hit that like, hit that subscribe, and we'll see you over in the next segment.